What's going on, everybody? It's Saul Sunforge here from Dungeons and Taverns. This is this is session 10 of the TTRPG map that I'm making for my subscribers for free. So if you would like to get this map for free, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. You don't have to, of course. And you can see the map right now. It's messed up from the last time I saved it. Incarnate's been messed up for days. It wouldn't even let me access the map. And then it did finally after like 3 days. And I fixed the islands and everything like that. And then it wouldn't let me access it. And then next time it did, this is what it gives me. You can see there's a lot of things missing on it. The islands are all completely empty when they were fixed up. And the worst of all is everything is this bluish gray. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to go fix that now. I'm going to pause the recording and I'm going to go fix that. And then we're going to go ahead and continue from there. However long that takes. So thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you all. Bear with me. There it is so far. I got a long way to go still. So, oh jeez, I'll be right back. You see, it got rid of my canyon here, my ravine, and the waterfall, and you can see it got rid of some mountains. Oh boy. As I'm fixing up the map, I'm going to go ahead and take the liberty to improve some of the areas and things like that. So it's going to look a little bit different, but I think it's going to look a lot sweeter. Alright, so done with my break, back to fixing the map. Here's the picture of the last phase of the map that I have. So I'm trying to match the colors up best as I can. And locations, improve on some locations, and get rid of the blue. And then we'll go ahead and start the actual video. All in all, I've been working on it for about 6 hours now or so. The stuff I do for you. It's all out of love though, so hopefully you enjoy the map. There we go. It's pretty much the same. You can see all the colors are back, except the elven area here that we already declared because of the world tree that we put here. And we were thinking about putting a swamp here because we indicated it with a swamp tree. But other than that, we just got a few of these islands and stuff, and that's what we'll do on today's map. So give me a few more minutes to get some of this other discoloration out of here, and make sure that it looks as close to my picture as it can, and then we'll go ahead and start. So up the music. Alright, what's going on, everybody? Okay, we're back here. We finished getting the coloration. We're leaving this area this color intentionally because we're about to do it, and we're gonna get the islands done too. So this map, no matter how long it takes, is gonna be released in the comment section in this video. Gotta love the classical music, man. I don't know, it just goes so good with the map making. I don't know. Oh, some changes that I made to the map. I increased the distance of this ravine here, and I decreased its overall size. You see that it doesn't go split off in both ways. I added a river in here and a pool. This here is it could be an abandoned mine or a quarry, and the water just drains to the lowest level naturally, so it would drain there, and the water draining out of it forms this little tiny, river that has a delta here because it drains a lot of silt and soil deposits from the land. Put a swamp here and some hills on this island here. That could be a portal to like the Shadow Dark or something if you want over here, or it could be a hag the players have to visit. Obviously this is the world map, not the regional map. You could do a lot more with just this. It's pretty much everything I did. Just added the color back to it. Didn't really make too many changes. So let's let's go ahead and focus in on the zone here. This area here, this is from where the snow melts. This is the ideal area for crops to grow. So ideally we want to have a lot of farms, like halfling communities, farmers along here. And you'll see some other areas that are very fertile too. Over here, when you're making a regional map, you can have farming, lots of farming areas over there too. Goblin farmers. It's a jungle, and I would recommend if you have a dino zone in your campaign, your dinosaurs would be located probably in this area here of the map, all the way up to this mountain area here. If you drew a plane where I did with the grass, it makes it easier. It's further accentuate the natural border of the mountains. Alright, so I just colored this portion to match the other side, give them more farmland, and it would make sense too with the dueling rivers and then the fresh water. You can see another change that I made here on the map is that I made all the fresh water a different color than the ocean water. Just slightly different, but it's enough for it to stand out and accentuate the map's features. You can see here fresh water versus salt water because it's being fed from the ocean. And I did that with all the bodies of water. You can see here salt water. This is fresh water because this salt water goes through the mountains and comes out the other side. And that's about it for the changes. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and color the I almost said color the carpet. We're going to color the grass here. Then we're going to fill it in with trees. We might put a distinguishing feature in there for the elves. Like a healing pool or something like that. I haven't really thought about it just yet. I'll think about it while I'm coloring this in here. I do like the healing pool idea though. Alright, so up here, butted up against the mountains, there's going to be a swamp. So I decided that several sessions ago. It's a little too big. I was thinking about doing two joining into one, a biopurification. Is that right? I couldn't do it 10 times fast, sure. Alright, so we're going to flatten the mountain here. So this way the water comes through. There you go. You can kind of see it. It comes down the slope of the mountains there. It would have to come out on this end though, because this end is the lower end. And I'll make a height chart here for you guys here in a moment. There we are. That's fine. And that's a pretty substantial sized river too. Because the other ones I'm using mostly 4 points. This is a 6 point. So it's a little bit larger. So we're going to go ahead and make the water up here the best we can. Because whenever you make the water up in the mountain and then you flatten the stamp, it takes away some of the mountain texture. It can't be helped because you're basically erasing pieces of it. Alright, so let's check out what it looks like. I'm not sure how far I went. No, I didn't go that far. Okay. Oh, it actually joins if you take away the mountain. Alright, so then we're going to go ahead and add some here. Give me a waterfall. Now you have a lake up in the mountains. Or rather, substantial lake, actually. And it's up to you. I mean, you know, there's no real reason for players to go up in this location specifically. But, you know, you can have fishing in your campaign. And so maybe we can go up in the mountains, catch a rare type of fish. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and subtract again. We're going to make it so they don't touch this time. Not bad. It looks a little funky, but it's alright. It's just the world map. Your regional maps are the ones you want to look better anyway. Your players aren't going to take, you know, hours looking at this map. And, you know, it might only be referenced, you know, 10 times or less in the entire campaign. So you just kind of use it as your backdrop. And what do you want to feed are the mine locations that you didn't have prepared, essentially. If you don't have maps made for certain locations, you could just use the world map and use the relative position. I don't like that you can see the water through here. So we're gonna go ahead and cut that off. There we go. We just erased it. And now it only shows the lines just up to the waterfall and right after the waterfall. That's what I was going for. We're actually going for a swamp there. I forgot for some reason. So we're not actually, we don't need all this extra lake here. Make it just a little bit smaller, well, substantially smaller. And that's what feeds it. Because we're going to turn it, this is going to be a swamp. So let's get rid of this, all this river here. And the reason why rivers wind, I don't know if you knew this or not, but it's because of the wind and erosion. It winds the river snakes. And, you know, sometimes eventually the river snakes so much that two pieces of the snake touch. And then the river will take on the flow of the other, of one side versus the other. And then the other will dry mostly. And it'll create something like I created over here, which is called an oxbow. That's a piece of river that's left standing from where the old river was. However, the swamp reclaimed that piece because you know, it flowed into it. Alright, so let's go ahead and delete most of this here. Because we just need it so it's flowing into the swamp. And then I'm not sure if I want to. Yeah, we're gonna have to. I think we're gonna have to do the full effect basically hollow it out, so this way the inside's water, and then color it a certain way, and then add trees. That's what we're going to do. So let me do that now. Alright, so there's my initial area for the swamp. I can go ahead and make it smaller or larger. It's going to be huge. I mean, that's literally, you know, probably 1,000 or 2,000 square miles, depending on the size. You know, that's all up to you, the scale. So in order to visit the elves over here, you're going to either have to go up over the mountains, go for a little swim, or maybe you can make a path somewhere if you wish to. Or you have to go through the swamp, or you're going to have to take a boat all the way down. So maybe you can have the boats more over here on this island, and smaller boats ferry them back and forth. That could be an idea too. All right, first we're going to go ahead and put some mossy hills in there. All right, so we put the mossy hills in there, and you can have, you know, you can have a town there that mostly deals in exporting moss, you know, fertilizer. That would be pretty cool. You can even have it under elven control if you want, or you can have, you know, different cultures, you know, clashing for these resources. Even that could be an underlying arc of your campaign. All right, so this thing only drains due to evaporation. So let's go ahead and give it some gross color water here. That seems okay. You know, if this was the regional map, I would add different touches to it, like you know, lily pads and reeds and, you know, little bushes and things that would grow in the swamp. Maybe a path or something through it. You know, or pieces of land outcropping that the players can walk through, something like that to make it traversable. And then this stretch of land right here that would bypass the swamp, you want to fill that up with a bunch of poisonous plants and deadly enemies that hang out on the outskirts of the swamp, looking for easy prey. You can even put like a toll system in here, highwaymen or something demanding tolls to get through. You know, there's a whole bunch of things you could do in there so the players don't just try to bypass it. Alright, there we go. That's pretty much all you gotta do for a swamp, really. Until you get into your regional maps, then, you know, you could add different things into it. Cottages, houses, really anything you want. Landmarks, caves, caverns. And then we added the trees over here real quick. Like I said, you can use this for the port, like a port island, to dispatch goods all across this hemisphere. You know, all across the eastern hemisphere, and then you can have one over here for the same thing on the west. You can even have them compete with each other. But, you know, I can easily see 3 to 5 large, decent-sized cities over here. I want to add a river off of this point here, this mountain. It's kind of too tempting not to. You just follow it to the lowest point in the map, which we're going left to right, top to bottom. So we're like right there. And then that's, of course, fresh water. Alright, so we picked out the blue, we got our fresh water. And now we can focus on the elven territory and putting in the trees. From an elevation standpoint, the left continent here is the highest, most elevation. The middle continent here is of the lower elevation. So that's why you see all these rivers flowing. You got rivers flowing from the ocean and rivers flowing from the mountains. And there's something up in the mountain, obviously. The mountain in the way preventing erosion one way. And so it's why it's able to diverge into 2 different ways. And then we have here, this continent is the middle in terms of elevation. But this area up here of this continent is actually higher up than most of this the continent on the left. And so these bodies of water here, these lakes, are able to flow down into this quarry here. That's what I'm calling it. You can call it whatever you like. This pit here, it's a pockmarked area of the land that's recessed, and the water is filling up from these natural sources here, from snowfall, snow melt, and rainfall, and things like that. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and put in this field right here. We're going to go ahead and put a few hills, because you got to put some hills up near the mountains. You just gotta. All right, so the hills are there. We're going to go ahead and put a few trees in there. Not too many, just a few. It's going to be mostly farming villages in there. There we go. Put a few oak trees in there. Not too many. It's sparsely populated. But enough so that the area doesn't look completely bald. You don't really want too many areas of the map to look completely bald, even if there really isn't supposed to be anything of importance there, in terms of the terrain. Like, up here has a good deal of importance, but you can also treat that part of the map with more importance. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and save the map here, since Incarnate's been giving us a lot of hard times recently in the last week, just in case. I usually like to put natural forming tar pits in my campaign maps. I don't know if you guys like those things though, so I'm not going to do that. My other world map that I'm releasing, I think, has a few tar pits on it though, for you guys, if you want to use that map as well. It'll be available to download here in a few days. I just got to go back through it and check a few things. Alright, so made this little area here the healing well, like I said I was going to, for the elves. We're going to go ahead and put in some cherry blossoms, I think, because we kind of want to bring attention to that area a little bit. And you could come up with whatever lore reason you'd like, but we'll say that this well has healing properties. That's just the generic. You can do whatever you like. That, visiting this well is how you get access to blah 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 level spells and above. You can make it so that, if they wish to multi-class, they have to go here. Anything you want, really. Let's see what it looks like zoomed out. That's fine. It looks alright. It doesn't show up as much as I thought it would, but that's okay. Alright, then I put some sequoias in the area. The elves could use that for like their watchtowers, or you can use each sequoia as a teleporter to a different destination, or really let your imagination run wild. I'm just trying to feed you ideas while making these maps for you. One more thing about the elven well before I continue on. I would make it so that it's like a natural spring that emerges forth from the ground, to give the healing properties. And more than that, I probably would make it like it was the sap of the world tree collecting in a pool. And, so they believe that it has healing properties. It's really a cool concept. That's why I keep touching on it. But, as I said before, I just want to give you guys ideas. Feel free to use whatever you want or not. Alright, so we're just finishing up the island. I'm going to place a few more trees elsewhere, and then we'll get out of here, and you guys will have your map. I'm going to place a few more trees down here, and I'm going to make one final check to see if there's anywhere else I want a river. Alright, so we did those two islands there. You don't really need to pay too much attention to the islands. Most players really don't. I like to zhuzh up my islands a bit, but since there isn't any desert on here, we can really only go with beaches. So this island's probably the driest place in this game. But you can see here we put little ponds in the forest here. All right, we're gonna put one lone house on that. For that to be on the world map, you gotta think of somebody cool now to be in there. I'm leaving it up to you. All right, so for this last island here, excuse me, I was gonna make it a library, like the world's library is over here. So whenever your players are looking for any type of lore items that they can't commonly find somewhere else, they may be able to find it here. You can use it for something else if you'd like to, of course, but that's what I'm going to design it with the intention. And the harbor here is surrounded by rocks. They could be, naturally occurring or placed there intentionally like that. I'm going to go with they were intentionally placed like that. And this island here brings you the entrance to the library. You'll find it here if you actually get directions to it. But if you just go there and try to find it, you won't be able to. And so when you go into this harbor here and go find the entrance to the library, we'll say that it takes you to a different demiplane where the library is located at. Just the entrance of that demiplane is over here. And again, you don't need to use it for the library. It's just I'm trying to give you a built-in way for your players to be able to access the lore that you don't have to think about if you just have an out-of-the-way library. And the entry I like to do for my libraries that are hidden, the entry usually is the requirement of a book or tome of knowledge or a spell or something that the library doesn't have or doesn't have much of to gain entry. Then this island here to the right of it, this fireball looking shaped island with the snow covered, I was just thinking about making that like a fishing, maybe one or two fishing villages there. And so they do a good deal of exporting, and that's how they survive. This land here, this landmass here, is going to be the port, the port city for the, like a trading post, where most of the other ships from this half of the world come and dock if they're looking for goods that they can't find elsewhere. There's a good chance that they'll find them here. And so because of that, I'm really going to kind of leave this sort of, I'm thinking cobblestone color, because the world map won't really be needed for this. It's just to show the parties at the trading port itself. And this is showing a road. And of course, you don't usually have that kind of stuff at all on world maps. But I do sometimes. And like I said, since this is a port, that kind of just shows that there's industry here. That's all that really matters. And it's unique because I haven't done it anywhere else on this map. So I was thinking like, there'd be a city up here, and then, down here will be the port because of the long harbor. And so you would have like docks and wharfs all along that. And then you can have like your warehouses over here, where I just moved that tree from. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give the map a once over, make sure I didn't forget anything, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit this and release it to you, and this will be your map, totally free. All I ask is that, you be a subscriber, but if you're not, it's okay, as long as you come back and visit us sometime. And then the map is yours. Looks good to me, so let's go ahead and save it again. And we've saved it several times now, but that's because Incarnate was messing up, so we probably added like 1,200 changes so far to this map. I've been working on this map, getting the colors back and everything like that, and then actually recording this video since 1 a.m. It's now 12:30 p.m., just to give you an idea of how much content I'm trying to edit this video down to. So if you enjoy this stuff, if you enjoy D&D, if you enjoy the maps, go ahead and give me a subscribe. I could use every single one of you in here. Leave me comments. down below. Let me know some things that you want to see. This is the final video of this map, but we're going to go ahead and make more in the future, I think, for you guys. So stay tuned for that. And I may make some regional maps for you guys coming up also. Just depends on how much traction this particular series picks up on the channel. Trying to get a little bit of everybody in here, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Stay awesome. Have a great day. And I'll see you shortly with another video.